Hello world, my name is Woodrow Willis and coming to you live from Atlanta, GA is
Tiberius Jones. We just saw the It movie and we got something to say about it.
So 2017, It movie has finally taken to the big screen. As you know, there's been a novel that came out in the 1980s by Stephen King. There was a TV miniseries in 1990. It was a two-parter. A lot of us remember that because it scared the bejesus out of us as a child.
I want to kill it. I just want to forget about it.
It's not just us. It's all the other kids too. Who's gonna be next?
It kills kids, damn it! Let's see you now.
Hi, Georgie.
And now we also have the 2017 It movie.
I saw something. There was this...
A clown. Yeah, I saw him too.
Look. It's all connected by the sewers. That's where it lives. What happened? Well?
Tiberius, take it away, sir.
Alright, It is a 2017 adaptation of the Stephen King novel by the same name, directed by Andy Muschietti. And the movie, you know, it's about a killer clown and a group of kids who try to stop this killer clown. Our favorite actors, our top three. The top three we felt were the best, and also the top two that we felt could have been a little bit better. Number one is Sophia Lillis, who is Beverly Marsh. I felt like, you know, out of the Losers Club, she had the most to deal with, you know, being like at home problems, you know, with her dad, and then, you know, being bullied at school, and then she also had to deal with, you know, rumors around town about her, and then also just being, you know, a teenage girl, you know, dealing with girly problems, and then, you know, having a crush. It's sort of a love triangle between her, Ben, and Bill, and I thought that was done very well, very effectively. Their love triangle, and she knocked out the park in terms of her acting. And Wolfhard, who plays Richie, that kid, he was just hilarious. He had a foul mouth. He was, you know, he's always talking about, you know, he said a lot of mama jokes, a lot of nasty jokes, and he was just funny. He was like the comic relief character, and you know, he had to deal with, you know, his fear. I'm not gonna give it away, but he doesn't phobia the movie. Obviously, all of them do. He was just funny, and I really like his character. And he's from Stranger Things. Jack Dylan Grazer as Eddie. And that kid, he was, you know, his problem was, you know, he's a germaphobe. His mother, you know, he had problems with his mother. He was a germaphobe, and he was a potty mouth too. He had a lot of, you know, foul jokes and stuff like that. And him and Richie, they bounced off each other very well. They had a lot of chemistry going off of each other, and I thought that worked very well. He was my third choice, and I really liked his character in the movie. So the next two that I felt they could have done better with or given more screen time was Wyatt Oleff as Stanley. He really didn't have much to do. He was just in the background, and you know, he spoke every now and then. And I felt like they could have done a better job with his character. Yeah, he just didn't have a whole lot to do. The other character was Chosen Jacobs as Mike Hanlon, the black kid. Yeah, he didn't have anything to do. He was just in the background. His character, like, he talked about his grandfather knowing the history of dairy, talking about, oh, there's a curse. And there's another kid in the movie, Ben, who's the researcher. He's always in the library, you know, researching stuff, and he's researching the background of dairy. I felt like they could have maybe given that character trait to Mike, so they could have fleshed him out more. He could have more to do. But as it is, you know, he just in the background. He didn't have much to do, and that kind of sucked. So how did you feel about the cast, Woodrow? And
it's funny. I actually agree with your top three. I thought she brought a lot to the table. She is an up and coming actress. This was my first time actually seeing her in any type of role in Hollywood, and I really enjoyed her acting. I also really enjoyed Eddie as the germaphobe. He was hilarious. Enjoyed his character all the way through. Richie, the foul-mouthed kid. Yeah, everybody had a friend like him growing up. Could never take things seriously. Talking mess all the time. Just in the way. Just needs to be quiet. Now, as far as characters who didn't get to do a whole lot, or they could have been fleshed out a little bit better, well, first one I'm going to come off with off the top, the adults. Every one of the adults could have been fleshed out better. They all came off as creepy, but you didn't know why they were being creepy. Mike Chosen, you're right. He didn't have a whole lot to do in this movie. When he was given a speaking role, it was pretty good, but he didn't get to really do a whole lot. Of all the characters, he probably did the less. Now we're gonna talk about the clown named Pennywise, the dancing clown named Pennywise, and boy does he dance, and boy does he make jokes. Tiberius, tell us a little bit about Pennywise.
all right, Pennywise is played by Bill Skarsgard. You know, originally it was played by Tim Curry. You know, the legendary Tim Curry in the miniseries. And Tim Curry's Pennywise was iconic. You know, he was jokey, funny, and also terrifying. The new Pennywise, the same thing. To be honest, I think Bill Skarsgard. His standout scene in the whole movie for me was the opening scene with him and Georgie, because with that scene he was able to act. He had a lot of dialogue, and you know his dialogue back and forth with Georgie worked very well. And I just like, you know, his voice. And he talked about an interview creating a character, you know, coming with the voice, and you know obviously the makeup and everything. And that his voice was just so eerie, and it worked. But later on in the movie, his scenes, if they weren't dialogue, they were him yelling and running at the camera, being either a visual effect or a jump scare. And I think, and then when he did have dialogue, it was very minimal, or they were altered his voice somehow, to where it sounded different. And I think had they, given him more to say and more dialogue, I think it would have been better if they would have done that. So therefore, he still could have the scary scenes that he had, but I think the dialogue is what was lacking to make him memorable. Or more memorable, I should say. He did a great job, just he didn't have enough dialogue. And a fun fact about his character, about the eyeball thing, when you see in the movie, his eyes are looking in two different directions. The director, Andy Muschietti, said that Bill could actually do it. He could just look in two different directions. He said it has saved him a lot of money, because he can just do it naturally. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So yeah, what did you think?
That's freaky. I had no clue. That's so weird. What a weird ability. That was really cool, because I thought that was a really cool effect. And now knowing that he actually can do that in real life, and he was doing it then, that's interesting. Pennywise. I enjoyed Pennywise. I agree about, as far as comparing the two Pennywises, that this Pennywise was basically lacking in dialogue. Like, Pennywise is basically a smartass. He's just a big dick. He can kill you at any moment in time. He knows he has you. He knows he can do whatever he wants with you. But what he chooses to do is to F with you, to let you know that, hey, I'm about to kill you, but I'm gonna have a whole lot of fun doing it. And it's just really effed up. And then once he kills a character, he even comes back and messes with people about the person he just killed. So you don't even get the rest in peace, because Pennywise over there, excuse my language, dicking with you. Tim Curry was able to really bring that out. The writers back then allowed him to bring that character out. But maybe in the continuation of this, they may allow Pennywise to be a little bit more talkative, a little bit more of a smartass. Not to say he wasn't a smartass now, because he was. Hell, it was even like some Scooby-Doo moments going on in there. They literally had like the multiple doors and able to separate the kids and then messing with them about the separation and all that stuff. Yeah, Pennywise was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, him being funny, because the movie, they marketed it as it being scary, and then even he's so terrifying. He's so terrifying. It's like, no, he's more jokey. He's not really scary. It is jokey. I mean, the humor ranges, like, it goes crazy. It's like Evil Dead 2 levels of humor. And if you see Evil Dead 2, that's like one of the best horror comedies. All right, so now about the special effects. So the special effects in this movie, they look, I mean, you know, they look good for what they were, excuse me. The budget, I think, was $35 million. And, you know, it's CG, you know, it looks like CG. But there were certain shots, there's 3 in particular, I'm not gonna give it away, but there's 3 that I saw to where, actually Pennywise does look like a puppet. There's a scene with Georgie, there's a scene with Beverly, and there's a scene with Richie, where, you know, he does this thing. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Well, he actually does look like a puppet, you know, augmented with CG. I was like, oh, and I wasn't expecting it. I thought it was going to be all CG. And seeing that, I was like, oh, okay, cool. They have practical special effects in there. So I thought that was really cool that they were able to, man, if it is practical, it looked practical, that they were able to, you know, blend the 2 together, the CG and the practical effect. But the CG looks, it's kind of dodgy in a lot of areas. Like I said, the budget was $35 million, but yeah, it's kind of dodgy in some areas. But how did you feel about the special effects?
Overall, the special effects, I was happy with them. Like you said, the budget was $35 million, so and that's a lot of money to you and I and to a lot of the public. But as far as movies being made, it's actually a small budget.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it was just noticeable. It's like, that's a visual effect I'm looking at. You know. So yeah. Just a small nitpick.
Okay. Hey, well, Tiberius, so we've talked about the actors, we've talked about Pennywise, we even talked about a little bit of the history of the It franchise. So with all of that being said, there's one thing that we haven't talked about. Any guess what that is?
All right. So we're gonna talk about now. If you thought the movie was scary, so for me. No, it wasn't really scary. It was more goofy than anything. Like I said before, some critics stand by how terrifying the movie was, how scary Pennywise was. And to be honest, he wasn't really that scary. And the movie wasn't really scary. Like I said, it does get goofy. There's a lot of, you know, humor. You know, them running around that Scooby-Doo house was funny. And then it didn't even, yeah, it just wasn't really scary. I wish it was, but it wasn't. But hey, Woodrow, how'd you feel about it? Did you think the movie was scary?
You know, I didn't think the movie was scary at all. Now, Tiberius knows that I am not a big horror buff in general. Reason being that when I watch this stuff, it doesn't bother me then. It doesn't even bother me later when I'm thinking about it. But it definitely bothers me when I'm asleep. And I don't sleep very well as it is, so I definitely don't need anything popping up in my dreams when I'm trying to enjoy my rest. So, you know, no, I didn't think it was scary. There were some tense moments, but honestly it's funny because I got myself so hyped up for this movie. I came in with just like adrenaline. I was even surprised how pumped up I was. I was in that movie like the whole time like, yes, I'm gonna see it, you know. So I was tense the whole time and it had nothing to do with the movie whatsoever. So it was definitely, there was a heightened awareness of what was going on for me, but no, I was never scared. There was some tense moments. Matter of fact, I would actually classify this movie, this is the perfect horror movie for those who really can't stand horror.
Yeah.
It's got some suspense stuff going, it's got some thrill stuff going, there's not really a lot of gore, there's some tension, but it's not over the top horror. So if you're a person like that, you kind of want to see something, but you don't want to be terrified of thinking about this mess later, it is probably the movie for you.
Yeah. Real quick, the cinematography in the movie was very good. I like the camera angles, the swooping camera shots, the vistas. That was done very well. I like cinematography, and the score was actually done really well. Both the actual score for the film and then the soundtrack that they decided to put in there. There's this gag in the movie, and I thought that gag was funny, and just even the other '80s music that they had in there was pretty cool.
So it's ratings time here at Mom's Universe. And Tiberius, what is your rating, sir?
Alright, so when I first started watching this movie, it was Awesome Balls, because the first scene, I was like, if it's more like this, it's going to be Awesome Balls. But, as it went along, the complaints that we had, that I brought up, so it sort of lowered it. So it's just going to be a see that shit. I still enjoyed the movie. It's really good. If you haven't seen it, go see it. And yeah, I'm giving it a see that shit.
Okay, good to go. Well, let's see, for my rating, I kind of started off like you. I was really, that first scene with Georgie, I was like, okay, we got something here. And I was like, are we gonna have our second Awesome Balls of the year, which would be pretty amazing. But just like you with the things that took place throughout the movie, it lowered it a little bit. Now, I still really enjoyed this movie. So I'm kind of hovering between a high middle of the road or a very low see that shit. I'm right on that border, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a see that shit.
It's not a straight horror. I mean, it's a horror movie, but it does have elements of humor, and there is actually a lot of, which I wasn't expecting. There is a lot of emotion, a heart and emotion in the movie, which I wasn't expecting. So, you know, with Georgie and Bill, so there's that element to it. So, yeah.
I agree with that. There was definitely a lot of heart in this horror movie. Well, world, thank you for checking us out as always. Again, I am Woodrow Crew for Willis.
Tiberius Jones.
Love, like, subscribe, follow, upvote, all that good stuff. And we will do those things back. And we will always be here with you to watch movies here at Mom's Universe.
Yeah.
Later.
Have a Mom's Day. Later.